Hello and welcome to the current finale. I'm your host, Heather Cunningham. I know I've had so much fun with our episodes this season and will definitely be sad for the break. With the show taking a pause, I'm especially sad I won't be able to spend the holiday season with the current. But I think I have a way to make it still feel like we're spending the holidays together. Today's show will be quite the treat. Our very own Ian Zeff will be giving a recap of the entire year of 2020, from TikTok to murder hornets and more. We have an exciting interview coming up with UNCW alumna Sydney Bouchelle. Sydney works as a reporter for WWAY and will be guiding us through finding fair, accurate news in the age of misinformation. Finally, we will learn about delicious treats with Pia. Clearly, we have a lot in store this episode, so let's get started with Ian Zeff. Ian?
Thanks, Heather. Now let's recap some major news stories from this year. At the beginning of 2020, the Australian bushfires, which burned vast amounts of Australia, caught the attention of the globe, and many other countries' firefighters made their way over to help out with the fires. Early on in the year, tensions were high between the United States and Iran, leaving people concerned that the countries were on the brink of war. Later, the United Kingdom decided to withdraw from the European Union, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, decided to leave the royal family as well. The World Health Organization announced that they had discovered a deadly virus, COVID-19, which in a matter of months spread across the globe. Italy then became the first country to initiate a nationwide lockdown. Basketball star Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna and 7 others were killed in a helicopter crash in California. President Donald Trump faced an impeachment trial. South Korean director Bong Joon-ho made history at the Oscars for his film Parasite, winning Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best International Feature Film. Harvey Weinstein was then convicted, marking a turning point for the Me Too movement. TikTok, the popular social media app, continued to skyrocket with over 2 billion users on the platform, even cultivating the interest of the United States government. Protests across the U.S. erupted to end police brutality and racial injustice after the deaths of Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, among many others. Rumors that the North Korean Supreme Leader, Kim Jong-un, was either gravely sick or dead spread across the world after his disappearance from the public eye. The Pentagon released videos and pictures of what they call unidentified aerial phenomena. Joe Biden is chosen as the Democratic presidential nominee among the vast number of other Democrats. Soon after Biden announced his run, he selected California Senator Kamala Harris to be his running mate, making her the first Black and Asian woman selected to be vice president on a major party's presidential ticket. The 2020 Summer Olympics, taking place in Tokyo, have now been postponed until 2021. Twitter was hacked by a group allegedly run by a Florida teen targeting political figures and salient business owners. A new invasive species, the Asian giant hornet, nicknamed murder hornets, were spotted on the west coast of the U.S., measuring 2 inches long and designated as a danger to the bee population. In Beirut, a massive explosion was set off by the accidental detonation of 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate, leaving many dead and injured. Famous actor Chadwick Boseman died after his long battle with colon cancer, leaving fans shocked because he continued to shoot many blockbuster movies up until that point, keeping the diagnosis private. Deadly wildfires have popped up all across California to Washington state, burning millions of acres and leaving many without places to live. Long-running Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away. She was a pioneer of gender equality and the second woman to be appointed to the High Court. President Donald Trump tested positive for COVID-19, was hospitalized for 3 days, and has since been recovering back at the White House. Guitar legend Eddie Van Halen has died following his long fight with cancer. It's been an interesting year for sure, but we don't have to let that stop us at all. If we continue to stay positive and look ahead to 2021 for changes and opportunities, we will all be okay. That's it for a quick recap of the wild year 2020 has been. Now let's head on over to Sarah with the interview.
Thanks, Ian. Today, our guest is a UNCW Communication Study grad and current WWAY reporter, Sydney Bouchelle. Thank you, Sydney, for coming on to The Current.
Absolutely.
Well, so you are a UNCW alumni. You graduated with a communication degree, and you were very active here at UNCW in Greek life and with Teal TV. How was your time here at UNCW?
I loved it. I wouldn't change a thing about coming to UNCW. It was a perfect 4 years. I mean, obviously, things are challenging at times, but I mean, my time with the Communication Studies Department, I loved every single minute of it. And like you said, I was involved in Greek life as well, and that was so awesome. My best friends that I met through my sorority, we're still best friends today. We hang out and talk every single day, so.
That's amazing. And you graduated in 2019 too as well, right?
Absolutely, May 2019.
You've missed the whole 2020, all of the switching around of classes, so it's probably pretty lucky.
Yeah.
And you landed a job at WWAY as a reporter. And it's a local channel here, Channel 3. And could you tell us a little more about your position there and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I am a multimedia journalist at WWAY, multimedia journalist reporter. And so that means I'm a one-man band. So whenever I go out to gather the news, we sit in our pitch meeting. They send me on with whatever stories I need to, pursue that day, and then I'll make the contacts and try to get in contact with them. So I'll go out and I'll shoot all the videos, shoot all the interviews, and come back and I'll write and I'll edit, and then if they need me to, I'll front the story in the studio or be live in the field somewhere for it as well.
And it being 2020, how has it been reporting and being on the news this year, and with it being such an eventful year and having so much news and stuff to report on?
Definitely. So there's not really a shortage of news. There's always something to talk about. As far as the process, it hasn't changed too much as far as, COVID and things like that. We work from home a lot more, but that's not completely out of the ordinary. You would see MMJs working in their cars all the time, especially if we're going to be live in the field. So being remote is not something that we're strangers to at all. Of course, the masks, and whenever you're doing the interviews, you like to be up close and personal with someone to really, lock eyes and make sure you're engaging with them. So standing further back, obviously, and people wearing masks, so you have to ask questions more than once sometimes now. But yeah, it's been a challenge. That's no secret, but it's been exciting, and I'm glad that I get to tell the stories of the things that are happening this year. I'm glad that people trust me to come in and tell the stories of the things that they're struggling with or going through all of this, and bringing that to light for people to see.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And as you said, there's so much more news now in 2020, and there seems to be a lot of stories going on. What advice would you give students who want to stay informed about everything going on?
I would say really trust your local news sources. I know that sounds funny over a local news reporter, but really that's probably one of your most trustworthy and reliable sources for news. Local news stations, they don't have any sort of left or right-leaning bias that you might see from networks. And though networks, they don't tell you fake news or anything like that, they definitely lean with a political bias sometimes, but local news, you definitely don't get that at all. So you get the facts of everything that's going on. And as far as that goes as well, you're getting much more localized news of things that are happening in your community. And if you do want to stay informed of things that are happening nationally, definitely look to those network news outlets. Like I said, they're not really giving you fake news, but they may have a political leaning, whether it be left or right. And you can get through those things by checking various news sources. That way you'll get through straight to the fact and be able to dig through the opinions as well.
So it's also a little bit of research that you have to do at home as well to make sure you're getting fact-checking.
Absolutely. Don't get your news from one source. That is a rule of thumb.
Don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And have you yourself had to deal with disinformation? Like you get a piece of information, you have to change it because you make your own research, or?
Yeah, sure. So we get reports to the newsroom quite often, people calling and giving us tips or emailing us tips or whatever it may be. And you obviously have to go through those. I mean, people maybe aren't maliciously lying on purpose, but maybe they, heard it wrong through the grapevine or whatever it may be. So you definitely have to fact check those claims and everything yourself as well.
So as viewers, what could we see or look for in news at all oh my gosh. What should we look for that would tell us that we need to do our own research, that we need to go back, maybe fact check or get another opinion?
Absolutely. And so, like I said, news and reporters and journalists, they're not here to mislead you. So I would say take everything with a grain of salt, and that's in everything, especially things that you see on social media, but always do your own research. If something seems, crazy or there's a really strong claim that's been made, absolutely go ahead and do your own research. But when you're doing your own research, make sure you're looking at reliable sources, make sure it's, .gov websites and things of that nature. You're not just getting it from a blog that maybe would be out there giving a lot of opinion and not doing their own research when they publish their information as well.
And you have a lot of experience in front of a camera. You've done Till TV here at UNCW, and you're with WWAY. I believe you did an internship too with another news station. What has been your favorite story, your favorite blooper, your favorite just anything that's been going on?
Probably my favorite story that I have done, my boyfriend, he's really involved in the free diving community, free diving, scuba diving, all the diving, all the underwater. And he had a acquaintance, a friend of a friend that had passed away a couple years ago, and they wanted to sink a ship in his honor. And that was able to come to fruition this year. And I was able to talk to his friends, the ones that knew him very well. His name was Brian Davis. And I talked to his friends about, the type of guy that Brian was and the legacy that he was able to leave behind when he left. And I spoke to his parents as well. And they were able to sink a huge former Coast Guard cutter right off the coast of Wrightsville Beach. And, getting to talk to them about what that meant to do for him, that was probably the coolest thing that I've ever been able to do. And then I can't take credit for any of the video. I didn't get to shoot the video myself, of course, but they were able to share with me the footage they took from their GoPros and just seeing the body language whenever they get to see that huge Coast Guard cutter that says Brian Davis on the front of it. And that's, what they've been working towards for years. And that was awesome. So that for sure was my definitely favorite story.
Oh, that's very special. That's really cool that they could do that and sink a ship in honor. That's amazing. Never even heard of something like that. So what do you see as the future of the news?
I think the future of the news, I think it's going to rely heavily on reporters utilizing social media, going live on Facebook or live tweeting events that are happening. And I think it's going towards a very digital age. Studios are amazing and they're necessary, to make sure that you have like a home base. But news it's fast. It's getting faster in all that we do. Sometimes you don't have time to wait for that 5 o'clock slot to get news out there. So you have to do it through different channels, like, going live on Facebook and things like that. So I definitely think it's heading towards an even more digital place than it is now. So, and I hope that, it just progresses nicely and people are able to realize, you can trust journalists and journalists are here to tell you the facts, not any sort of misleading information as well.
Well, thank you so much for coming on to The Current and sharing your story and the information that you gave us.
Absolutely.
Now let's go to Pia, who's going to show us some delicious treats you can enjoy this holiday season.
Thank you, Sarah. For our final show, we have an extra special treat for you all. This is the season of cozy nights at home wearing plaid pajamas and fuzzy socks, watching all your favorite Christmas movies. And what is better than a cup of a delicious and Christmas-themed drink from your go-to coffee place on a cold day? Today I will show you how to make your favorite drink in just a few easy steps, and I'm pretty sure that all those Christmas flavors will get you into the holiday spirit. The first drink is for all your coffee lovers out there, a delicious Snickerdoodle cold brew. All you need is fresh cold brew, your favorite vanilla creamer, a little bit of brown sugar, and a little bit of cinnamon. So we're gonna take a glass, pour in your favorite cold brew. You can also make this yourself, as much as you like, but leave room for some creamer. Add some creamer, You can also make this a vegan option. Put in the cinnamon, the sugar, stir it, and top it with a little bit of cinnamon. Et voila! The second drink is the famous Starbucks caramel brulee latte. You're gonna need freshly brewed coffee, 1 cup of skimmed milk, some caramel sauce, a little bit of vanilla flavor, and whipped cream. So we already have our freshly brewed coffee. Gonna add some milk. I'm not gonna use everything yet. Just use a little bit of caramel. So just stir everything together. Add a couple of drops of vanilla flavor. Whoop, that's about it. Stir one more time. And then for the final touch, add some whipped cream. And that's your favorite drink, the Starbucks Caramel Brulee Latte. And for all the people who prefer hot cocoa over coffee, I have a delicious peppermint white hot chocolate recipe for you. All you're gonna need is 1 cup of hot milk, some white chocolate chips, a little bit of peppermint flavor, some whipped cream, and a bunch of things to decorate your sweet treat. So first, we're gonna use the hot milk, pour it in the glass, stir in as much or as many chocolate chips as you like, and let them dissolve. Then we're just gonna add a little bit of peppermint flavor, just a few drops. Then we're gonna add our whipped cream. And of course, some delicious marshmallows. Open them. I mean, this is personal preference. Add a candy cane. And a few festive sprinkles. Et voila. I hope you enjoyed watching me making those festive and delicious Christmas treats. Have a blessed holiday season. Heather, back to you.
Well, there you have it. If you've stayed with us the whole semester, you've learned about current events, conspiracy theories, local music, foreign exchange students, and more. It's truly been a pleasure, Wilmington, and I hope you tune back in next semester for The Current.